close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you what you like. The content it never stays. We're positive and uplifting. Once a week the scope gifted. Let's hear it from fake. Hydration like Boucher.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the livest media, tech, and pop culture show in the land, in my opinion, anyway. This is MediaScope. We are all things media, tech, and pop culture. And how about I put a little bit of that on the screen for you so you can see? That's right. All things media, tech, and pop culture. We are here at 8 p.m. Well, sorry. 8-ish p.m. I have to wait for the broadcast day to be over on Indie Soup. Then I can hop on. So somewhere around this time, definitely before 8:30, I come on. So between 8 and 8:30, you can look for my smiling face to give you the latest in media, tech, and pop culture news. And in case you don't know who I am, this is me. I'm Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, and also a journalist. And as we wait for people to come in, I'm going to send you all the greetings that I can. Let's see, Joni Red Butterfly is here. What's up, Joni? Good to see you. Welcome in. Soror, it is great to have you. What were you up to today, Joni? Let me know. And everybody that's coming in, let me know what you were up to today. I would be happy to know. We've got some folks here. Look at Creed's Classy Bling. What's up, Cheryl Creed? How are you? And you see all the bling and the hearts and everything. She's watching over on the Twitch side. I like to have our Twitchers there. Welcome. Ron Foster is also here, and he says hello to all. And then, okay, so Creed is working. I hear that. Listen, tell me how your day was today. What happened? Anything special happened? I had the best day, and I'll tell you about it in just one moment. Hey, and Teresa Marshall has joined us. Hello. And Joni Red Butterfly says good evening to me and everybody else. Welcome in. Listen, I had the best day. So you guys know that I am part of this cohort of the Fundable Founders Program. It's like a cohort of business owners, like in the startup phase and beyond, and looking to just, help us win. And it's a program by Pharrell Williams. I had an amazing day today because even though we're from all over the state of Florida, we had a meetup today by the people that live in, a couple are from Miami, and then some live up here in Fort Lauderdale. So it's all the same area, basically. So we met up at a wonderful coffee shop called, I can't remember. I want to say Full Circle Coffee, but I don't think that's the name of it. I'll look for it and get it. But it was great. The little bites and eats were good. The atmosphere was good. It's a small place, but we got to meet and really dig into the weeds of what everybody was doing. I found somebody who builds apps. Listen, I am just so thankful that I was chosen for this round of the cohort because the connections are invaluable. So say that to say I had a really, really good day. So it looks like other people are putting their what had happened was, that's what we're going to call it. When we come in, before we start, what had happened is how we fill each other in on our day. So we've got a couple of what had happened was. Not the government name. Well, I'm sorry, Creed. And Ron says he had a busy day, but it was a good day. You always have a busy but good day. You are like the most positive person I know. So thank you for being here. Let's see. Hey, LaShondra says hello. How are you? And Joni Red Butterfly said she was lazy doing online shopping. She had no business doing. Now, see, why are you going to make us accomplices to your debauchery? Don't tell us that, because now we have to admit, yeah, she was shopping online. Anyway, you know what I did not do? Hug time, giving you the hug to let you know I certainly appreciate you being here. It's Friday night and you could be anywhere else, but you're here. And so that's a good thing. I have some very interesting news stories for you. But before we go, tell me how the weather was. It's quite hot here. I'm okay with hot though. I am okay with hot. I am not going to complain about that because it could be snowing, right? And I'm sure it's still, even though it's May, I'm sure it's still cold in some places in the country. So I am okay with that. All right. So Lashandra is over here on YouTube. And listen, the experience is actually better on YouTube. Now, no pressure, no pressure. You can actually be wherever you would like, but the experience is actually a little bit better on YouTube. I can put your comments up on the screen. A lot of the community tends to gather on YouTube. So, feel free to join us over on the tubing of the U side. We would be happy to have you here. All right. Well, so in just a moment, we are going to get started. Let's see if we have anything else. All right. So Joni Red Butterfly says that it's raining off and on in Westchester. You guys have had a barrage of rain, haven't you, for the past few days? It seems like you have. So, yeah. Wishing you some sun, definitely. So you, Ron, are in NYC. Are you getting the same rain? I mean, it's right there. Although you're at the bottom of NYC and Joni is like at the top in Westchester, but let me know, is it raining for you in the city as well? All right. So it's hot here. It has not rained. We had 2 days of rain last week and it's not rainy season yet. So I'm like, we do need the rain, but it's coming soon enough because in South Florida, we actually have a rainy season. Hey, Divine Wright is here. How are you? Another soror. Welcome in. She is the queen of food truckery and minister of libation. And by the way, if you happen to be watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Why are you not? You should be like and subscribe. So you may be wondering why I'm wearing shades in the house, because I want to. I'm digging the little the leopard. So I said, you know what, that is going to set off the fit well. So I'm wearing the leopard today. Okay, let's see what else is happening. Carlos Phoenix, one of the original OG media scopers, says hello there. Hello to you too. And he's also on Facebook. Good for you. And Ron says that in the city, it is foggy, misty, rainy, humid, cloudy all day. Well, it is what it is. My hair actually likes that kind of weather. So when I wear my hair out, it adores any type of moisture. So, all right. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to give you one more hug, letting you know that I'm here just in case you missed it. And go ahead and subscribe to YouTube. Before we get to our first story, what I want to do is greet everyone. So if you're watching on Facebook, hello, Bookface. All three of you. They were on 3 different Facebooks or book faces today. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I'm happy to have you here. Few people watch on LinkedIn, but if you're here, hello. If you happen to be watching on the tubing of the U, which is how most people watch, how are you? Welcome in. And Twitch, we got a person watching on Twitch. It is wonderful to see you, Twitch. And Instagram, IG, thank you so much for being here. So Divine Wright says, hey there, we had a cray storm about 3 hours ago. That sounds very DMV, crazy storm. Mid-Atlantic can get some crazy storms, absolutely. And she said she lost power a few times and it's calm now. Listen, I've been driving and silly us, we were like going to, where were we going? Norfolk, Virginia from DC. My sister and I were like, oh, okay, it's gone. We're not realizing it was heading south. And we drove right into it. Foolishness. So yeah. Anyway, Sharon Flavors, how are you? It is wonderful to see you, birthday twin. Yay. Okay, so we actually are going to start because I don't want to hold your whole Friday night. Some of us have things to do, but I had to come on and see you guys. That's my thing to do. So we actually are going to start with our media section. Here we go. Okay, so let's get on with photo 1. HBO Max. Okay, so some of you may not have thought about the fact that Max is back. Maybe you didn't even know. Yeah, Max is back. So we have HBO Max, and Max is back. Hold on a second, guys. All right. So HBO Max is back. So if you recall, HBO became HBO Max. Then they took away the HBO and they just became Max. Now, if you ask me, that was the stupidest move on earth. Who knows what a Max is? We have been, listen, HBO has been around since the 80s, right? Remember, it was called Home Box Office. Then it went to HBO. I remember when we were little, people were like, do you have HBO? No, you don't have Home Box Office? I do not. People like, do you have HBO? Yes. You have human body odor? Kids are stupid. But in any case, yes. So it's been around since the 80s. How are you going to, and I was questioning the move of changing all of that. Yeah, you've got content to the max, perhaps, but why strip away something that has been known for decades? Listen, if you like it, I like it for you, which means I do not, in fact, like it. So they're back. It's a brand new twisting, brand new plot, if you will, in terms of Max being back. Hold on, let me position myself properly. I'm like not position. I'm sitting off to the side, and I feel strange. All right, I think I'm good and back now. All right, so they're bringing back the HBO Max name. This is Warner Brothers Discovery. Remember, they are under Warner Brothers Discovery. So this was just an experiment. They're ending this 2-year experiment with just the simplified Max branding. Again, to me, that made no sense. No, maybe for you all, maybe you're fine with it, but that's like all of a sudden I change my name and then expect you all to get it very readily. And you may not, because you're used to me as a certain thing. Now, this is not saying that if you change your name, that people should not call you by what you want to be called. I'm not saying that at all, but people are different from entities. And you're trying to make money, right? People like what is familiar, but this was just an experiment. Okay. So the upfronts are happening now. Remember, I told you the upfronts are where all of the advertisers basically watch the presentations of these shows from these different networks and decide where their advertising is going to go, what shows they want it next to, what they're going to sponsor and support. So that's what the upfronts are, okay, for traditional television, okay? So they made this announcement during the upfronts, and I know that people were like, good, because we didn't know what a Max was. So keep it HBO Max. That's fine. I don't mind. But so again, this came this week, and we're already used to it, so good for you. And they said they announced this on Instagram and TikTok. They said breaking: white smoke has been seen coming from the Warner Brothers water tower. A new brand has been chosen. So do you notice how many people are playing off of the pontiff and the choosing of the new pope? We've seen a lot of branding, social media stuff that is using that whole white smoke thing. And I mean, brilliant, I suppose. Maybe offensive if you're Catholic, but it works for marketing. So that's what Max did. So again, Max, or HBO Max, actually launched. Remember, I talked about this in 2020 as an extension of the HBO brand. Then it became HBO Max. It was HBO Max and it became Max. Now they're back to HBO Max. Good. Let's see what people have to say about that. And Susan Sawyer, otherwise known as Just Sawyer, is checking in on the tubing of the U. Hello, Susan. It is great to see you. Ron Foster's like, and this Cookie Monster thing, I quite like it. I don't know exactly what it means, but thank you for that. Also, Ron Foster says HBO was legendary. How could you go to Max? That was a move that made no sense. And it's just like some of these programs that they have. Did you ask anybody if Or did you just decide this is what we wanted to see? Now, here's the thing. Programming is hit or miss. Carlos can tell you this. A lot of other people can tell you it's hit or miss. You may, and remember, the industry is adverse to change and they don't like to spend money on what they are not sure of. They like sure bets because people are investing. So even though something is a sure bet, that doesn't mean that it's always going to work. Look at how many sequels, right? Or prequels or reimaginings of shows that were really popular happen. And if you ask me, it's because they botched it. Leave well enough alone sometimes. Sometimes just leave it, right? Oh, and LaShandra likes the glasses. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I needed a little co-host today, and the leopard is the co-host. Let's see if there are anything. So Sharon Flavors is saying hello to Divine Right and to Joni Red Butterfly. And Sharon Flavors says trying to get a new audience. Yeah, but you had an audience. Did you not like them? Did you decide they're no longer good for you? They're no more good for you? Is it? You had an audience. What's with the reindeer games? Listen, and I'm speaking directly to you all, HBO Max and what home box office, whoever you are now, whatever you decide to do. If you build a strong community, listen, open your eyes and look at what social media is doing. It's about building community. The days of I'm just going to throw my program up there and people are going to love it. I mean, people still love some things, but you have to form a community around whatever you do. So the days of throwing up things because we have no choice but to watch it are gone, anime. So I need you to pay attention to what they're doing, right? So yeah, maybe they're trying to get a new audience, but you had the power to go home all along, Dorothy, with your ruby slippers. And you were looking all over the place, but you had the power right there. And the power was that you had the ruby slippers in the name HBO. People knew you. You formed a quote quasi community, but no, you wanted the green slippers over there that the all powerful Oz, the fool behind the curtain, was trying to give you. You had the power to go home all along, Dorothy. That's all I'll say. So Divine Right is putting up, there's happy hour at the food truck, guys. Why not? And we've got all sorts of libations, even a drink in a coconut. Look at this, coconut water. And also, so it's happy hour at the food truck. Get your libations, have a sit down, have a sip, and have some fun with us. And look who is here, the DJ with the mostest, our resident DJ Mick Ford, who had an amazing set last night. If you have not watched it, you can watch it on my Instagram page and the Instagram page of Indie Soup Media, independent network for independent content creators and cool independent content. So make sure you are watching. And Sharon Flavor says they're never satisfied, especially when things are going well. You know what? It's just too much like right to leave things alone. And let me not say that. I do understand that you experiment. When you're in this game, you experiment to see what works. Maybe something new would work, but see, they don't like new. Again, to an extent, I can understand you don't like new because that means new could lose you money. I get it. I get it. It's not just you. I get it. You have shareholders. Remember, they're Warner Brothers Discovery. You've got shareholders that you have to satisfy. Okay, that's all I'll say. Okay, that's up to you. Any case. Let's keep going. So let me take down the glasses comment. Yep, happy hour of the food truck. LaShandra needs something. So go ahead and hook her up at the food truck, please. And LaShandra says, hey, DJ McFord, what's up? Bryson Leach is here, and he has some news for us as usual. Bryson, be known. And Final Destination Bloodlines just came out today. Yeah, and they are really doing well. It's they're expecting great things for that, but how many I know you know, but how many Final Destinations do we have at this point? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is proving the point. So that franchise has done really well. They don't want to veer away from it. They don't like different. So let's make a Final Destination 75. But we'll see. They're expecting it to do relatively well. And Ron Foster says he loves that anthology. You had the power to go all home all along, Dorothy. You had the power. You squandered it. You tried to get into this hot air balloon with Richard Pryor and fly away, and it did not work. Or was it that original? He was in the hot air balloon. Whatever. Anyway, let's see. Greetings, says Dr. Vibe. He is the host of Epic Conversations almost daily on his platform. Make sure you check him out. We also have the good fortune to have his programming on Indie Soup Media. So welcome in, Dr. Vibe. It is wonderful to have you here. And this is Tony Todd's last movie. Oh, okay. Look who's here. Over on Facebook, we've got Stephen Kaplan that says, here to say hi during a commercial, but now it's back to go Knicks. All right, somebody is a Knicks fan. Good to see you, Stephen. He is an amazing social media person, amazing photographer. He and Ron actually met on the streets taking pictures, and they knew each other from being on MediaScope. So look at MediaScope bringing people together. Fantastic. All right. So let's do this. I will keep going. Yes. Let's go to our next. Wait, let me check Instagram first and see if we have anything. And DJ McFord says hello to you, LaShondra. And Divine Right says, yes, go Knicks. Sports, yay. Okay. We're going to go on to the next. You guys know how I am about sports, except for certain ones. We are going to go on to the next. Let's see. All right, let's go to story 2. Typeset Brooklyn. Speaking of, hold on, I'm trying to fix myself. I slid down and I was trying to hold on. It wasn't working. So I had to fix myself. Let's go to this story right here. Speaking of New York, not the Knicks, but the Nets. Actually, the Nets, well, they're Brooklyn. Okay, anyway, so the Brooklyn Nets is actually getting ready to launch. They are getting ready to launch a media company called Typeset Brooklyn. Interesting, right? So BSC Global is the parent company of the Brooklyn Nets, and together with they're the parent company of the Brooklyn Nets, New York Liberty, and the Barclays Center. So they're trying to expand their portfolio and their growing media portfolio. And this just happened Tuesday, and it's a new publisher called Typeset Brooklyn. Type.set top Brooklyn. So it's a publisher, and what they're going to do is focus mainly on video content. They're launching a slate of 4 original series that they'll distribute across social media, including YouTube. Okay, so this is a social first network, it appears. And they're also going to have a website full of written content. So it's a full media company. So let me tell you what was said about this. The name comes from the idea of typesetting the moment. And this is Dewan Wilson, who is the Chief Product and Experiences Officer. He also says, it's when something gets stamped with permanence and purpose. Brooklyn does that for culture. They do. It pressure tests what's real and passes it on to the world. Now, I think we have a couple of Brooklynites in here. I lived in Brooklyn myself. I can attest to this. So that is what's going to happen. It's a video first approach. You're going to be able to pick up these shows. They're going to start with 4 original series and then a bunch of written content on their website. So that's interesting. Put something in the chat if you think we need this. Do we? I'm one that doesn't like to say we don't need any more XYZ, because I think there's room in the space for everyone. However, it has to be very pointed. So they're looking to monetize almost exclusively through advertising, sponsorships, and branded content, right? So again, YouTube is going to be the main part of their strategy. I think that's smart. I think that is smart. So what say you all? Let's take a look. We're going to start with Instagram. Divine Right is, well, she's clapping for DJ McFord. Okay. A Perry is here and El Domino is here. What's up? And let's see. Also, let's go over to the other side. And Ron Foster says Brooklyn in the house. I knew you were going to rep Brooklyn. I knew that was good. That was coming. And waiting for Final Destination 45. I think they're on 75 now. Too many Final Destinations. So yes, and Bryson also attests that HBO Max is back this summer. They're done with their 2-year experience or experiment, whatever that is. All right. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go on. We're making good time, folks. Listen, we've gotten through 2 stories. It is a miracle if we could get through one. So we've gotten through 2 stories. Let's keep going. But first, let me take a break to say hello. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer. I am also a journalist, and this is MediaScope. Well, first, let me put myself up. There we go. This is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. We're here at 8 p.m. on Fridays. We've switched now to between 8 and 8:30 on Fridays. And you know who I forgot to say hello to? Our good friends at Gospel 107.1 FM in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. Blessings, and more blessings be upon you. Thank you for having us on your network. You're on YouTube, subscribe, like, and subscribe. It really does help. I want to see some likes. So thank you for those of you who did. All right, let's go to our third story here. Somebody looks happy. Now, if you don't know the second gentleman from the right, that's Ted Sarandos, and he is the co-CEO of Netflix. What, pray tell, could be happening at Netflix besides what's already happening? Well, Netflix has broken ground on a major production facility in New Jersey. So those of you that live in the New York, New Jersey area, this is for you. They're planning to invest $1 billion to transform a former U.S. Army installation into a major East Coast production hub. This sounds very familiar. Wasn't there somebody else who turned a former military base into production studio? I don't know why I can't figure who it was. Isn't this exactly what Tyler Perry did years ago? Are we trying to compete here? Is this what we're trying to do? Although when we look at production facilities, most of the larger ones, okay, now obviously the one in Atlanta is now the largest in the country. They have sound stages and production facilities in Los Angeles, and the majority are in Los Angeles. But the East Coast Atlanta now, but the East Coast doesn't really have a whole lot of them. So, it's Atlanta, and that's it. So this will serve as a second place. So you've got one on the southeast, and then you'll have one in the northeast for those of you that are interested. So this is also as there are these tariffs in Hollywood, and that threat of that 100% tariffs on productions that are done outside of the country. We're not going to go there. We don't do politics, but just know that Hollywood is feeling the pinch, and they're looking at doing all sorts of things. This is one thing. Now, that particular Army base in New Jersey is 292 acres. And I think that's just shy of, somebody can tell me how big Tyler Perry Studios are. I think Tyler Perry Studios is 300 acres. So it's just short of what Tyler Perry Studios is. And this is what they say. Netflix is proud to invest in American innovation and the creative community. This is what Ted Sarandos said. And again, he's the co-CEO of Netflix. And the groundbreaking ceremony was actually 3 days ago. It was on the 13th. They say this, or he says this: we estimate that these studios will create thousands of jobs for New Jersey residents, billions of dollars in economic output, and many other cultural benefits to the region and the state. Over the past 4 years, Netflix has contributed 125 billion to the US economy and hired more than 140,000 cast and crew members. We're excited to continue our investment in the US and New Jersey in the coming years. Okay. Okay. So interesting. That is what is happening. That we're getting a new production studio on the East Coast. It's going to be in New Jersey on a former Army base. Okay. This is interesting. And there's this dance that all of these people keep doing. I kind of feel sorry for the entertainment industry because they've been hit hard for the past few years. If you remember, they had COVID, the strikes. They're still recovering from all of this still. And now you have these tariffs. They can't catch a break, can they? And you could just say, well, can't they? No, remember, investors. They have investors that they are beholden to. So they're trying to do whatever they can to satisfy those obligations. So let's take a few comments. I know we have some. So, okay, Carlos has some things. Let's see. So this is what he says. I believe in this idea. Everything will be social in nature. Are you talking about the studios or the new Brooklyn Nets studios, Brooklyn Nets media company? Let me know what you're talking about. Also, Ron Foster says Brooklyn, New York, Robert De Niro, Brooklyn Navy Yard, Steiner Studios. Yes, but it's not as big as, how big? New York City is big, but you don't have that much room in New York to establish things. So you're absolutely correct, but it's not as big. Like, it's not a major studio, but you're correct. You're correct. Let's see. And Carlos says I lost 125 million on the effort to do Brooklyn Navy Yards. Really? Sorry, 25 million. When you were working for a company, let us know what you mean by that. Okay, let's see what is happening over here on Instagram. A Perry, hello. B Pearl, how are you? I'm like, what's up? It's B Pearl. How are you, my dear? And Rockmore Melanie, how are you? Rachel Bickerstaff, welcome in. And A Perry says, is this the Fort Dix site? No, let me look. They did not mention Fort Dix. So they're saying that they work with the cities of Eatontown and Oceanport, as well as Monmouth County, to secure approvals for the initial phase of the proposed Netflix studios in Fort Monmouth. So that's where it is, not Fort Dix. So, all right, well, good for them. Good for you. We'll see what happens. The thing is, will it be profitable? Hopefully so. Hopefully so. All right. So welcome in, everyone. If you're just joining us, this is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. Oh, and guess what? We have Rosemary. How are you? McCadney is here. Welcome, my dear. It's good to see you. Okay, so 330 acres is what? Is Tyler Perry Studios? So qualify things if you don't mind before you put them in, because when I come back to it, I may not remember what you were referring to. So are you saying Tyler Perry Studios is 330 acres? I knew it was like at least 300. So it's fantastic. And Durham Skywriter is here. Hello, Durham Skywriter. It is a pleasure to see you on this Friday evening. Okay, so let's keep going. Story 4. Listen, can you believe we are on the 4th story, folks? Let's go. Let's go. But before we get to story 4, let me know what's happening. For those of you that just came in, let me know what's happening in your world. How's everything going? Are you, did you eat? I know we have some specials on the MediaScope food truck. We have some libations, but did you guys eat yet? Or are you eating as you are watching? This is like dinner and a show. So this is fine. and have dinner at a show. So in any case, let's keep going. Let's go to the fourth story, please. I talked about this last week, ladies and gentlemen. I binge watched Forever, which is one of the latest offerings on Netflix. Mara Braca Keel produced this. And it's really a story that is based off of the Judy Blume book Forever, but it's like a reimagining of this. And it's done exceedingly well. I don't have the ratings on Netflix for this or the watch hours for this, but it's done so well. This is so well done in terms of the writing, and it's done well on Netflix. So much so that they get a season 2. So if you were wondering if Forever was getting a season 2, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Green eggs and ham. They are getting a season 2, renewed for season 2 on Netflix. So you're going to be happy if you are a lover of this. It is coming out now. See, this renewal is coming barely a week after it launched. So already it's that popular that they said, oh yeah, it's coming back. Now, again, this may have already been in the works that they were, but usually when it comes to renewing things, there are some that you wait around for a while and you don't know if you're going to get renewed. So you're waiting around. So that's what, your call, it's on the bubble. So it's up in the air, whether or not you're going to get renewed. And then it finally gets renewed or it finally gets canceled. They said, we're not wasting time. We are renewing this. Okay, so it launched May 8th, barely a week, just over a week. And here we go. So congratulations to the whole cast and crew. I know there are awards that are coming already. There's an award that the main character who plays what is her name? Her name is the actress's name is Lovey, but I can't remember the character's name. So Lovey has already won an award for this role, which is, I think that just shows that it's time. It's a story that is different from what we're here, and people are interested in this because the book was banned in a lot of places. So, I mean, we had it in our library at the Catholic school, but it was nobody said anything, but it was banned in a lot of places. So I think there is interest in that because of that, because of it being, quote, taboo, but it's exceedingly well written, and they're up for a season 2. So good for them. Congratulations to, again, the cast and crew, Mara Braca Keel and Soror Mara Braca Keel. I'm proud of that one, right? So they're getting a season 2. What say you? And tell me again, have you watched Forever? Again, it is not for children. So don't think this is a family affair that you know what? Maybe it is if you want to sit down and talk to your children about these happenings, which probably should happen if you have kids watching this. But if not, this is not what are these kids movies? This is not, is it Gnomes to Gnome? I don't know. Help me. But by the way, there is a Smurfs movie coming out. The Smurfs movie is coming out, and I can't remember. Who is it that is doing a song for? It will come to me. But yeah, there is a Smurfs. So this is not the Smurfs movie. Okay, let's say that. Fantastic. So Ron Foster says it's a great story. It really is. They did such a good job with this. When you don't feel, when you are drawn into the world of the story, and let me tell you, I don't really have parasocial relationships, meaning you feel like these characters are your friends, right? I don't form parasocial relationships with characters or celebrities or any of these things. But I was actually very sad at the end of this. And I won't tell you what the end is of this season, in case you want to watch it. But I was like, oh, that's so sad. So it had me feeling some sort of way. And for that to happen to me, that is a big deal. So yeah, you done, as they say, as the old folks like to say. Let's see. Who else? Yes, Bryson says it is not for kids. And Rachel Bickerstaff, hey, she's over here on the YouTube site, said, yes, I'm watching Forever. Look, I watched it and nothing got done that day. Okay. Nothing else got done that day. If there is something that I am that into, people are like, oh, well, I watch it. Nope, I have to watch it all at once. Everything. So it was late. So I did sleep and then I got up and watched the rest. And I was doing stuff but it was really that good. And it has been a while since I could say something was that good that it captivated me like that. Well, Survival of the Thickest, I really enjoyed as well. That's another one that I binge watched. So Survival of the Thickest with Michelle Buteau, hilarious. She's hilarious. She really is. Let's see. All right. And Ron says, I became connected to the characters. And this is, yes, exactly what I'm saying. It is rare that I'm invested in the characters like that. So, Ron, how did you feel at the end? Were you like, oh, at the end? I was like, that's too bad. At the end, here's the thing too. I think we need to see characters that feel. For me, it has been a long time since I've seen characters that actually appear to feel. Now, is that because they don't want to put us in a sad state because of what's happening in the world? Maybe. But I think that provides a release. Characters that actually think and feel and go through situations that people may have gone through. Teenagers, because they're, for all intents and purposes, they're supposed to be in high school. So I think it was really well done. Really well done. Thank you, Rosemary. Rihanna does the Smurf song. Yes, I was like, is it Rihanna? Thank you. Thank you. And Ron says he felt their emotions at the end. Listen, I was like, and I said that. I said, oh, and you know what? I was that. It had that much of an effect on me that for the rest of the day, I'm like, well, that's messed up. And I was kind of like, ugh, the rest of the day. And that I don't have that happen to me, especially a show that's about teenagers. But this was well done. All right, let's see what's happening over on the Instagram side. And okay, A. Perry says, got it. Also, Divine Right says, I'm getting my grub on while watching. That's okay. That's what this is for. Get your grub on as you get informed about media tech and pop culture news. Kimmy has also joined us on the Instagram side. It is good to see you. And Joni Red Butterfly said, yes, love it. And Divine Right says, shout out to Judy Bloom. And Divine Right is a writer, hence the term or name Divine Right. So I'm sure you really appreciated this. And everybody, even if you're interested in the characters and more about it, after you watch it, go on YouTube and put in Forever. There are so many interviews with the cast and crew. Well, not the crew, but the cast and the creator Mara Brock-Akil. I think you will really appreciate. And here's the thing: it's kind of like I love stories, and I'll end with this one on this story. It's kind of like I love stories that make the city a character as well. And a second character in this was LA. Mara Brock-Akil is from LA, so she really did a great job of infusing classic LA and the apartment that the main characters and the house the main characters live in. She did a really good job of that. And there's some great behind the scenes things that they talk about. So look it up on YouTube if you're interested in more in the process, if you like BTS or behind the scenes. All right, we're going to keep going because listen, we've got story 5 and we still have a little bit of time. I am proud of myself, ladies and gentlemen. We are on story 5. So let's see if we can get this story in. Story 5 is this the last of our, yeah, I think this is almost the last of our media section. So, what is this? I don't know if you've noticed anything, but music is kind of not that it ever left, but we're seeing more radio. Okay. Who listens to the radio? Put in the chat if you are a radio listener. Even if you just listen while you're driving, put it in the chat and let me know. So it seems that there's streaming fatigue. Okay. So there is a survey that was done. New research is suggesting that people have streaming fatigue, and that's accelerating amongst audio users. And so, of course, there are economic concerns because of that, right? So audio has grown, or streaming audio has grown rapidly over the past few years. But here's the thing. Now that subscription-based model is showing signs of strain. But I've said this. If I've said it once, I've said it 2 million times. At a point, number one, you reach saturation. Everybody who's going to get a subscription does it. Number two, you've got churn, because people decide when it's time to pay for something, what happens? You get rid of the subscriptions that you don't need, or that you're not necessarily using, or that are too much. I don't care if it's $2.99. That $2.99, you're like, I could use that for something else. At $2.99, I could use that for something else. So I'm just going to get rid of that, right? So you experience churn. People sign up, and then soon after they get rid of it, or they need that money for something else and they get rid of it. So you've got a lot of things that are happening with streaming. And so there's just a fatigue. In comes radio. Now, my first love is film, but I would think my second love is radio, because when I was in college, I interned and was staff at an urban format radio station in upstate New York. So I've always had this thing for radio. But obviously, podcasting, streaming has done away with that. And there's a lot of commercials, and you have to wait for. You don't know what song is coming. It's unpredictable. And I think now we like predictability. But because we're fatigued with the streaming, there are more and more people that are listening to radio. So let me tell you about this survey. In this survey, they found 27.8% of Americans are feeling overwhelmed by the number of streaming platforms, okay, that they're expected to pay for. I don't blame you, my dear. I don't blame you. That's a lot. It adds up if you have too many. And so that translates into changes in their behavior. Well, I'm just not going to pay for that. You hear me talk about all the time. People are like, oh, this is on Apple TV Plus. That's nice. I like what I have. I'm not paying for anything else. Is there a free trial? Yeah, I'll do that, but I'm not paying for anything else. Not paying for it, sis. Okay, nothing else. And I think other people have that same concept in mind. So the average, this is what they say as well, according to Daily Headlines. Radio Inc. Daily Headlines. They say the average American now spends $42.38 per month on streaming services. And that's down from 23% from about $55 a month last year. Uh-oh. What happened? All right, guys. Sorry, my camera. All of a sudden, it went off. All right, we're back. I don't know what that is. So I'm back. That's all that matters. Okay, so people are not ditching subscriptions completely when it comes to streaming. So when we talk about streaming, yeah, that's things like Spotify, etc., where you can stream music, but that's also like Sirius XM, right? So that they're not ditching it completely, but there is a fatigue, and we can see that it's down. So what I'm wondering is if, and what they're talking about is terrestrial radio, the radio that you can get over the airwaves. What is this going to mean for that? So let me know if you actually listen to terrestrial over the airwaves radio. We've got some comments here. Let's see. And I know this station. Ron listens to 1010 Wins. Yes, absolutely. I remember 1010 Wins. I used to listen to them. Rachel says she likes the radio while she's driving. And Hannah Boyd Miller, hello, she listens to the radio as well. Charlene, what's up, my dear, is also a radio listener. Okay, fantastic. And let me go back to something Ron said about Forever and said, yes, LA was very important. She included the street signs in the frame. Yeah, whenever you do that, you know that that city is a character. Fort Lauderdale is not the type of city that you could do something about. I don't know that people feel. See, you have to have a city where people feel connected to. I could be wrong. If there's anybody in Fort Lauderdale in the chat, do you feel connected to this city? Let me know. Give me a second. I've been talking for a while, so let me get some water. Okay, we're back. Let's see. Oh, Bryson has some news for us. I Know What You Did Last Summer 75 is coming out as well. And the new generation of the franchise and the remake Okay, I know what you did last summer, 75. Thank you. Thank you. That's coming out as well. And Durham Skywriter says this, and this kind of makes sense. I can see that. I listen to the radio still, mostly WNCU and WUNC in Durham, North Carolina, and Radio in Confidencia, Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Okay, my Portuguese is not good, so forgive me for that. Anybody? Oh, B Pearl is here now. You are Brazilian, so excuse me. I know how you know how to say that properly. Okay, so let's see if we have anything here. So TDH Unlimited says primarily while driving, WOJG. We could have our own survey here, and this would work. Okay, interesting. Sharon Flavors says WBLS and WHUR. I'm a WHUR. Again, when I was at Howard, I was in charge, well, not in charge, but I was an assistant program director at HBC, which was the student run, and we did get help from WHUR. So yes, and Joni says, yes, I love it. All right, so we still have a fair number of people who listen to the radio here. That is good to hear. All right, Radio Forever, Radio Gaga. Remember that song by Queen? Anyway, here we go. We got some Radio Gaga going on here. All right, fantastic. Well, we have a little bit of time left, and I want to spend it going on to the next section. Although, let me say, hey, what's up, everyone? If you are just joining us right now, that's fine. No such thing as late on MediaScope. And by the way, this is MediaScope. Excuse me, all things media, tech, and pop culture. I am Dr. Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist, and like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. All right, so with that, let's go to our, you know what? I think, yeah, we're going to do this. I want to do this rapid fire. Napster is back, folks. Napster is back, and they're trying to disrupt some AI, yo. They really are. So, Infinite Reality is the entity that works with immersive digital experiences. And today they announced that, or actually yesterday, they announced that the company is going to rebrand as Napster Corporation. So we already know that name is iconic with digital disruption because they were disruptive, right? So they're launching a new division called Napster AI. And that's going to be the home for all of their AI products, beginning with Napster Spaces. And it's available now in beta. So it's going to be a real-time generative web and agentic AI video chat service that empowers users to easily create web pages empowered by embodied AI agents. Now, that's nice. And when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, are we doing music again? I don't think they want to veer that way. But anyway, they're rebranding as Napster. But here's the thing, all the people that really were, that used Napster and whatever back in the day, who is their target? This is what I'm wondering. Is the target the people who recognize the Napster name? Because younger people now, Gen Z wasn't really around when Napster was a thing at all. So who is this for? This is what I'm wondering. So anyway, John Okunto, who is the co-founder and CEO, says this: today marks a new chapter for our company. By reclaiming the Napster brand, we embrace its legacy of innovation and challenger spirit. The new Napster builds on Infinite Reality's collective tech stack, diverse IP, and brand equity. Okay, so this really isn't saying anything about them. I'm sure music will be involved, but music was their primary thing. Maybe they're trying to stay away from that, but Napster is back in some way, shape, or form. They're rebranding. This company is now rebranding to Napster. How nice. All right. So Creed's classic, yes, Dabster, and she remembers them. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Ron says Hollywood is so lazy. Stop with the sequels or reboots. Create. I say the same thing, but remember, I just said this. They don't like new stuff and they don't like change because that means it may not do well. So I'm going to do Total Recall 75 or whatever that movie is. Okay. Because I'm somewhat sure that it's going to do well because people liked the franchise. After a while, it's anyway. Let's see if we have comments over here. Divine Right has a dessert special for us: carrot cake, cheesecake, rum cake, and more. Buy a slice, get 150% off. Do it before we close, folks, because we're getting ready to close soon. And DJ McFord said, I'll take a slice of each. Save some for me behind the food truck, please. Save a slice for me. Yeah, anyone you pick. So here we go. Let's see. I think, yeah, we're almost done, folks. So we did Napster. Okay, this is we have enough time to do this. All right. I'm going to go to this story because I found this is very interesting and you all may have heard about this. So there is, let's see if I can put up the photo. Yes, here we go. So there is obviously this is the classroom. This is supposed to signify AI. And this is, as a professor myself, this is always I'm boosting myself up again. This is always a concern, the fact of students using AI to do their work. This is something we've been talking about for a while. And honestly, if you ask me, universities should have been more proactive because this is something, it's not new. We just sometimes are not proactive. But yeah, so now we're looking at it. But this is not what you think. So there are college professors that have been using ChatGPT to generate course materials, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's helpful. However, some of these professors have been sloppy, right? So they'll leave the prompt in and then copy or whatever. And there was a student who noticed and then asked for a refund. So the student's name is Ella Stapleton, and in February she noticed something odd about the lecture notes and she went to Northeastern University. Northeastern is in Boston, and it was an organizational behavior class. And through the document, she saw this: expand on all areas, be more detailed and specific. And that could have been a prompt for the chat. And she looked at other materials from that class and including slide presentations. And she said that she detected AI use in a lot of the things from the photos because they had picked people with extra limbs and misspelled text on the photos, right? She said she was taken aback. So she said to the New York Times, he's telling us not to use it and he's using it. Okay. So what she did is she went to the department or the business school. She launched a complaint and asked for $8,000 back, which was the cost of the course. Of course, they waited till she graduated and they were like, no. So here's the thing: you have to have a very clear, and I want to know what you all think about this. This is why I brought it up. You have to have a very clear policy when it comes to AI use. That's for students and that is for faculty and staff as well. Now, I have no problems with generating things that are AI, like photos, etc., because then here's the thing: you're not just really supposed to, as a faculty member, especially teaching online, you're not just supposed to snatch any photos and put them up. You're supposed to use Creative Commons, and sometimes Creative Commons you can't find what you need in Creative Commons. And if you don't do that, then it's like, okay, well, this provides a way to create the image that I want and generate it by using a prompt. I don't have a problem with that, but can you not, first of all, don't use it to do your work. Also, I don't have a problem with using AI or something like ChatGPT to run through what you have already written, because sometimes it will give a different, oh, okay, I didn't think about that. Okay, let me use that. Sometimes it will give you a different perspective or a different word, and it can be helpful there. Let me know, do you agree with her or do you agree with the school? I just want to know, because I know what I think. Love students, but sometimes they complain too much. Just saying. And there are lazy professors too. Let's see. So Ron says AI is a tool. Use it. A refund? No. Then that's what I say. Nope. Absolutely not. And let's see. DJ McFord is talking about WAS in Philly. And so that's what he listens to. And Divide Right says, as soon as I get reception when I'm driving to New York, I flip to WBLS. Yeah, I think a lot of us listen to WBLS if we're up in New York. But I think that it is okay. It should not do the work for you. And guess what? Not that this is a thing, because people have been doing it for eons, but there are lots of people that adjunct. And these universities are not paying that well. People are like, oh, I'll teach a class. Okay, you're going to be surprised with what you get. The adjunct pay is not great. So they may be teaching in 3 different places, or this is a 3rd job. And so now you want me to come up with original stuff and not use help? You've lost your mind. So I'm on the side of no, you're not getting your money back. And if you're going to be a faculty member and you're using this, you just have to be more careful and don't use it to do everything, if that makes any sense. All right. Cass says this. Hey, Cass says it can be used as a tool, but need to use your own thoughts. It seems to be good for outline and to organize thoughts as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great organization tool, but use your own thoughts. First of all, you have to write it out. If you need help refining things, that's helpful. Again, if you've never taught before, there's an awful lot that is expected of you. Any tools that you can have that help to lighten the load so that you can focus on the things that are important, that's helpful. Because to sit there correcting, that is the thing I hate the most, correcting. So you're going through and you're spending all that time when I actually, and you have to correct their papers, right? But I actually could be talking to them one-on-one, doing which I like to do, but I have to spend time correcting papers. So are there other tasks that AI can do for me that will make it simpler or easier so that I can spend more time with students? That's what I think about. So absolutely. All right. One more story. And then we're going to go, because we are at 1 hour and 1 moment. 1 minute moment. Let's do this. Okay. I'm going to do this. This is cute. And this may be our final story. No, I have one more I have to do. Actually, before we do this, let's do this. Okay. I'm going to play this. We'll do the other one. So these two are videos, and I'm just going to play the story first. So yeah, it's no surprise that the person that occupies the White House right now has products. One of these things was watches, and this was what a watch was supposed to look like. Some of you may have heard about this story, but let's share this, and we will look at this. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Oh gosh. Hold on. So sorry, we have a commercial.
Battery's dead.
All right, here
Trump
we go.
time. A mistake on a Donald Trump keepsake might be funny to some.
But it wasn't a laughing matter for the couple who paid more than $600 for the Trump-branded watch. The I-Team's Brian Crandall looked into it and is here with what's happening now after we got involved. Brian?
Well, Patrice, Jean, one letter was left off that watch face, and it was pretty much the worst one possible to forget. And after being disappointed with the initial response from the website they ordered it from, the Middletown couple talked to us.
I liked it because it's similar to a Rolex band.
Showing support for the president and love for his wife.
Just thought it was really nice. It was beautiful. And I knew it would be something that she'd like.
A limited edition.
One of 250. So that attracted me.
And Tim Pettit shelled out $640 for a watch that may now be even more of a one-of-a-kind than he bargained for.
Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Pettit bought the watch after hearing an ad like that one on the radio.
With the president's voice hawking the watches, and I was curious, so I went onto the website.
GetTrumpWatches.com. Pettit picked out the pink inauguration First Lady model.
It has the pink and it has little fireworks on it.
Melanie Pettit likes the style, but it's what this watch does not have that makes it stand out.
I noticed it right away. The T is missing. It just says RUMP.
So it should say Trump.
Should say Trump.
Instead,
it says rump.
She has a $640 rump watch.
How could they process this and go through something without checking their work?
I'm very disappointed. I wanted to be a special thing for her. And we had expected that it would have the integrity of the President of the United States and good follow through.
The GetTrumpWatches.com site calls its products the official watches of President Trump, but in the small print, it notes that it licenses the Trump name and likeness. The site also states it has nothing to do with any political campaign, that the watches are not designed, manufactured, distributed, or sold by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, or any of their respective affiliates or principals.
I think that someone needs to be aware of it in their licensing department, that someone's dropped the ball big time.
When the Pettits talked to us earlier today, they were not satisfied with what they thought was a lack of response to the messages from the company.
And an apology would be nice for making my wife cry.
All right, so we also reached out to the company's email and have not heard back. But after we sent our messages, Tim Pettit called us back this afternoon to say the company did call him back, telling him they will immediately replace the watch, apologized, and offered an $800 coupon to buy something else, too. I'm Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News.
Okay, so, sorry, hold on a second. I don't know why where are you? Okay, there we go. All right. So, that's very interesting. So, aside from what that is, this is a lesson in licensing and branding, and I don't know. I'm just looking at the couple like, okay, I get it. You buy something and you expect for it to be a certain way. I'll just be quiet. What do you all think about this? I found it very interesting when it comes to this, spreading oneself too thin, perhaps. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm missing a whole bunch of things. Let's see. We got a breakfast as dinner special too. So if you want some pancakes, go ahead and get them from the food truck while we can. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. So they are replacing the watch plus a coupon or just the coupon. In all, it's crazy. See, that wasn't clear. So I know they offered a coupon. Like, according to the story, they did offer a coupon. But I don't know. It's not clear if they are replacing the watch. Actually, no. I think what the thing is that it's an $800 coupon. So that covers the watch and then, I don't know, pain and suffering. I don't know. Anyway, A. Perry says they got in more ways than one. Yes, this was interesting. So I found this very interesting as a lesson in marketing, in licensing, in sales, all of that type of thing. And when you're doing licensing and things, and you're licensing your name, for example, be careful of who you're doing it with, because you could end up as a rump. instead of the other. Just saying. So I found that interesting. Okay. So A. Perry says they should have done their research first. Divine Right says that's what they get. He had the nerve to see the integrity of the man. Boy, bye. Camellia Flanagan, how are you? Yeah, but $600 for a watch is a little bit much, and I'm sure it did not cost $600 to make. I'm just going to bite my tongue on that one. But again, be careful. The lesson here is be careful who you are licensing your likeness, your name, and all of that too, because it may not turn out the way you want. Oh, I knew you all would have some questions. Cass Lou says sneakers to Bibles to watches. It's a generic knockoff. Where's it made? Oh, let's not go there. Let's see. Integrity, they can't spell that either. Are you calling her Felicia? It says, Felicia, please, you bought a watch from COD. You got what you paid for. And okay, so according to what, I don't know how true this is, but that company is not, they licensed his name. Be careful who you license your likeness and your name to. Not that it would have been better if he had licensed it to Apple or anybody else, but the point is, you have to, whenever you have a brand, you have to stay on top of it or have people who are going to stay on top of it. Yeah, because this could get real ugly and political. We're not going to do that, but I thought this was interesting indeed. Hey, what's up? How are you, Princess? It is wonderful to see you. Let's see. I know it's subjective, but it was ugly anyhow. Give me my money back. You know what? I don't even think it's about the aesthetics. I think it's about what that symbolizes for them. It could have been a cord with bottle cap and they still would have purchased it. So it's that. Anyway. All right. Let's do this. All right. It is 1:10. I'm going to let you I do want to do this story though. So IKEA has a new shall we call it a sitcom? So if you're in IKEA, they have a sitcom that features their stuffed animals. So I'm going to show you. It's called Life in Stitches. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this, and then we will go. We will go. I try to let you off in 1 hour, and it never works. So, but this for real, is the last story. All right, let's do this. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to do this. All right, you should be able to see that. Here we go. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna stop sharing that. And this is actually a sitcom that IKEA is producing, and it features their wonderful, whimsical stuffed animals that are in the store. And that's the first episode. So if you like that kind of stuff, you can catch it on their IKEA Instagram account. I thought it was kind of cute. Yeah, no, that's what they're doing. It's called Life in Stitches. And this actually is a testament to the fact that everyone is really using media for sales and to get their things across. But they can't touch Alexis Bitar and what Alexis Bitar has been able to do, but I think lots of companies are inspired by the popularity of the series that Alexis Bitar does, and everybody's trying their hand at it. So if you like that type of stuff, check out the IKEA Instagram account. That is the first episode. And with that, I think we're done. I have to say thank you so much to all of you for coming and hanging out on a Friday night. It is 9:41. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much to our Queen of Food Truckery and Minister of Libation, Serena Wills, for all the wonderful specials. Truck is closing. Get your stuff right now. All right, let's see. Did I get everyone? I think I did. I have to end with this. Divine Right, before we go, has a special rump shaker martinis at the food truck. Oh, I cannot. But thank you for that little bit of fun before we left. Thank you, Joni Red Butterfly. It is amazing to have you all here. And with that, I am going to end the stream the way I always do. I love you for watching. I bid you adieu. You guys, myself, and all of this news, including the rump watch, we're exiting stage left. Until next week, my friends, cheers.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you on your way. The content it never stays, but positive and uplifting. Once a week, the scope gifted. Is it fake?